So today, gonna audition, getting things ready to do some warm-ups here, intonation, some rhythm. Again, vary the rhythm when you practice. And I'm being very careful here to practice slowly and really listen to the metronome. Really off the string for this one, then super on. And then find that happy medium with the metronome. Intonation again. Made a change. I always wear all black for auditions. Getting ready to go. Kind of going through the music in my head on the drive, and it was a big communal room today. Sometimes you get your own practice room. Just finished, and hands are freezing. It was really cold in there. I overall felt pretty good. I think there's a lot of phrasing things that I did better than in previous times. There were some technical things that I did not do as well. I feel good. Now it's time to reward myself. Okay, so for my treat, I decided to go to Paris Baguette. I discovered them through another YouTuber actually. She does a lot of French skits. I love almonds. I went with this almond cream cappuccino. Thinking about the audition a little bit more. I do love almond. This getting a treat after an audition was something I heard on Stand Partners for Life. They're like, after an audition, I've always taken myself out for like a nice dinner or a treat or something. You did it. You actually went through and you did it. So yeah, Stand Partners for Life, amazing podcast. One thing I realized kind of after the fact is yes, I made a few kind of weird technical mistakes, but I recovered really well. If I recorded it, I would go back and listen. I didn't ever stop. I didn't ever interrupt the musical phrase. So, hey, that's a good thing. There was an excerpt they did not want to hear unless they asked for it by the desk. So you go up to a desk, there's somebody there who signs you in. She told us right away, they're not going to ask for one, or just don't play it. What you do is you walk in, or you're called in, you're asked to enter into the room, onto the stage, or whatever the venue is. The committee is behind a panel, and you just play. Sometimes they ask you for certain things, and the proctor tells you ahead of time if they are going to ask you for certain things. You start with your solo piece excerpts, and they didn't ask for the extra one. That could be seen as a good or a bad thing. What that tells me, as somebody who I've sat on audition committees before, but what it says is the committee was not on the fence about my playing. If they ask to hear a particular excerpt again, it's actually kind of a good sign. If they might even say, could you play this a little bit faster? Could you play it a little bit slower? Could you play it a little louder, a little softer? There's a whole range of requests. But they didn't do any of that. They didn't ask me to play anything again. They didn't ask me to play that extra excerpt. So, overall, I felt pretty good. I recovered really well, which is a good skill to showcase. Ideally, you don't mess up in the first place. But if you do mess up, like a finger slips, like things happen. And this is the thing, committees know things happen. Committees know finger slips happen. And the reality is you just have to keep going. There have been many musicians who have had mistakes on stage, and they've just had to deal with it and the show must go on. They have to keep going. It was a good experience. Probably one of my better times playing, I think. Overall, I felt more comfortable with some of the awkward excerpts than I ever have. That is thanks to a lot of slow, diligent practice, which I have done more this time than I had done previous times. So, slow, diligent, thoughtful practice is the way to go. One thing I wish I would have done a little bit more is start each one in the character that I wanted, in the mindset that I wanted, a little bit more. Start each one and just kind of go through, start them in different orders. So I wish I would have done that a little bit more, because I think that would have fixed the problem with one of the excerpts where my fingers kind of slipped. But overall, I did it, followed through, signed up, I showed up. They usually are pretty prompt with this type of thing, with within 2-3 days, usually. Cheers.